Welcome to the Old Time Radio Westerns. I'm your host, Andrew Rhynes, and I'm excited to bring you another episode absolutely free. This is one of over 80 episodes released monthly for your enjoyment. Now, let's get into this episode.
A fiery horse with the speed of light, a cloud of dust, and a hearty Hi-Yo Silver, the Lone Ranger. In the early days of the western United States, the boys and girls who grew up in the new territory heard many stories about the masked rider of the plains. Courageous, daring, and resourceful, he championed the weak against the strong and brought law and order to a lawless frontier. It was he, more than any other man, who made possible the winning of the West. Return with us now to those thrilling days of yesteryear. From out of the past come the thundering hoofbeats of the great horse Silver. The Lone Ranger rides again.
Come on, Silver! We're heading for Laramie! Tonto's waiting on the trail ahead! Oh, Silver, away!
The Lone Ranger and his faithful Indian companion Tonto sat their mounts beside the trail to Laramie. Their gaze was fixed upon the cloud of dust that marked a stagecoach approaching in the distance, and...
That should be it, Tonto. They should have left last Thursday. It's a 2-day trip by stage from Yellow Gulch to Washoe. Washoe, they'd catch this Laramie stage. Another 2-day trip. This is Monday. Unless something happened to delay them, they're in it.
Not right.
Now look carefully as it goes by. Mrs. Clemens is an elderly gray-haired woman. You've seen the marshal.
Me watch him.
I won't be able to see as well as you. I want to stay behind this rock. I don't want the driver to think he's in for a holdup. Be careful. Here they come. Watch closely now.
Tonto, do it. Them on stage.
You sure?
Me see lawman.
Good.
What do now?
The stage will be in Laramie in 30 minutes. It won't be long after that before the law goes into action. We're riding to Blackie's place where we can keep an eye on things and see that they go as they should. This is one Tonto that Blackie won't escape the law. Come on.
Get him on, Scout. Come on.
Half an hour later, in Laramie...
Whoa! Whoa! Whoa there! Whoa! Whoa! Here we are, ma'am. Tired?
No.
You ain't? You're a wonder, ma'am. I reckon I must be more than 20 years younger than you, and yet I'm all in.
I can't think of rest until I see the man who killed John hanged.
Sure, I savvy. Well, we better be getting out. Here, give me your hand. I'll help you down.
Thank you.
There you are, man. Now then. Oh, that must be the sheriff over there. Here, this way, man. Sheriff!
Howdy. Howdy, ma'am. I see you're wearing a United States Marshal's badge, mister.
You're Sheriff Otis?
The same.
This is Mrs. Clemens.
A pleasure, ma'am.
How do you do?
I'm Marshal Cleary from Yellow Gulch.
Yeah? Well. I've heard of you. What brings you to Laramie?
Sheriff, my husband...
Pardon, ma'am, but maybe it'd be better if I was to explain. Sheriff, Mrs. Clemens is from Yellow Gulch, just like me. Last Wednesday, her husband... Well, her husband was killed. And I never heard of a more cowardly killing, Sheriff. The polecat never gave Mr. Clemens a chance. All we got, Sheriff, is a description. And a tip from a masked man that the fellow we want lives near Laramie.
So that's what brought you here. A masked man. Some crook gave you the tip, huh?
I suppose he's an outlaw. Don't imagine he'd be masked if he weren't. But anyhow, it's the only lead we got.
Tell me what the killer looks like, and I'll tell you if he's around. And if he is, we'll get the polecat, whether he's a killer or not.
Right. Describe the fellow, Mrs. Clemens.
Well, I'd say he was just under 6 feet, but he was stocky.
Just a second, ma'am. Billy,
Huh?
come here.
Me, Sheriff?
Uh-huh, you. Listening, wasn't you?
Gee, I was just standing there. I wasn't doing nothing.
Nothing but spreading your ears to the wind to pick up everything that was said. You savvy what happens to young fellas your age that don't mind their own business?
Oh, gee, I
They
was...
get larruped. Now, vamoose.
I'm going.
Better keep going, Billy, till you get home. And don't stop to spread anything you heard. That's a boy for you. All us underfoot.
Nice looking, lad.
Sure, Billy's all right. Feel kind of sorry for the young'un with no maw or paw, and only Blackie to look after him. Not that he don't think the sun just about rises and sets on Blackie. Well, this ain't tending to business.
We'd like to get it over with just as soon as possible.
Sure. Ma'am, I want to hear the rest of what you got to say. But I reckon this ain't the place for it. A little too public.
In your office?
He's just across the street and down the block. My arm, ma'am.
Thank you.
This way, we'll have this settled in a jiffy.
To a boy of Billy's age, the little he had overheard of the conversation between Sheriff Otis and Marshal Cleary was exciting news. He rode as fast as he could toward his home, a small cabin about 5 miles south of Laramie. When he arrived there...
Oh, Comanche! Oh boy! Oh! Blackie! Blackie!
Yeah, kid.
Blackie! Gosh, you know what I heard just in town just now? Do you? I bet you'd never guess.
Hold on there, young fella.
But you know...
Hold on. Whatever it is, you can tell it later. I've been waiting for you. Any notion why?
Huh?
Ain't there been nothing you've been wanting kind of special lately?
That I've been... Oh, gee, Blackie, you don't mean that...
Sure do. Come on. Let you and me see if we can't find something waiting for you out in back, huh?
Oh, golly. It is, Blackie. You bought him. It's the horse I seen at Mr. Whipple. Oh, boy, he's swell.
Like him?
Oh, gee, he's the swellest horse I ever seen. Did you really buy him for me, Blackie? Did you, huh?
Uh-huh. He's yours for keeps.
Just look at him. Hear that? He knows me already.
Takes to you, don't he?
Oh, Blackie, Oh, I don't know what to say. You've been so swell to me.
Me? Shucks, kid, forget it. I ain't hardly done nothing. Leastways, nothing to all I'd like to.
Was this what you went to your claim for, Blackie? Was it? To buy the horse from Mr. Whipple?
Claim? Oh, yeah, that's what I had in mind.
You ever going to take me with you when you go? Won't you someday, Blackie?
We'll talk it over some other time. Hey, didn't you start to tell me about something happening in
Oh,
town?
gosh, yes. I was near forgetting. Blackie, the sheriff's going to jail a killer.
Yeah? Come on, we better get back inside and start rustling up some grub, huh?
Uh-huh.
Now, what's this about the sheriff?
Well, he was talking to a U.S. Marshal and some old lady. I was right there and heard him.
Well, that sounds interesting. U.S. Marshal, huh?
Sure. From, Yellow Gulch.
From Yellow... Kid, did you say Yellow Gulch?
Well, sure, Blackie. What?
Who was it they was after? You hear him say, did you?
Well, what's the matter, Blackie?
Quick! Did you hear him say or didn't you?
Well, no, they didn't mention no name.
What else did they say? What was they after this fella for? You hear that?
Gee, Blackie, you're hurting my arm.
Sorry, kid. I guess I didn't notice I had a hold of you. Now, go on, tell me about it. I'm kind of interested.
Well, the marshal was telling the sheriff that back in Yellow Gulch, there was this old lady's husband, and some skunk held him up. And then afterwards shot him in the back, and... Well, you ain't listening, Blackie. I thought you said you was interested.
Kid, I just thought of something I meant to do and didn't.
But...
It's got to be tended to you. You go ahead and fix the grub. I'll be back later.
But, Blackie, wait! Blackie!
Get up there. Get up. Get up, boy. Get up.
Gee, what got into him?
When Blackie left his young friend, his destination was a remote clearing in a wood some distance from the cabin. There, leaving his mount saddle, he took refuge in a crudely built lean-to. All day he remained in hiding. Then, just as dusk was beginning to fall...
A horse. Whoever you are, rein up your cupboard.
It's me, Blackie. It's Billy.
Billy!
Oh, there!
How did...
Oh, there!
Kid, what made you look for me here?
Blackie, it was you I heard the marshal talking about.
Did they come to the cabin?
Yeah.
Gosh, kid, I don't know what to say.
Let's not talk about it, Blackie. You gotta get going. They're on your trail.
Huh? They are.
I watched them. The marshal can read sign real good. They'll be coming along most any time. You better leave.
Yeah, that's so. I reckon I better. Look, kid, I guess I've smashed things, ain't I?
There wasn't no claim.
Nope, there wasn't.
It was all lies. You wasn't buying me things with gold you'd paying. It was with cash you'd stole.
Uh-huh.
Oh, why'd you do it, Blackie? Why'd you have to? Everything was so swell. I was so happy, and now it...
Listen. Billy, just listen for a second, then I'll clear out.
I'm listening.
Kid, first of all, I want you to know I don't mean to whitewash myself. I'm pretty bad. I always have been. I was a crook when I first found you.
I always thought you was the swellest fellow there ever was, but...
Uh-huh. And all this time I felt like a dog for fooling you the way I have. But you see, young one, I kind of felt toward you like... Well, I reckon like a man would feel toward his own son. No matter how bad he was, he wouldn't want his boy to know it. Nor he wouldn't want to give up his boy, neither. Well, that's the way I've been. I guess I ought to be shot for it.
Won't you go, Blackie? Please. I don't want him to catch you.
Sure, I'll go. But before I go, do you think maybe you could say you ain't mad at me? Well, I can't blame you none, only...
Oh, gee, Blackie. I couldn't be mad at you in a million years.
Oh, kid.
But you gotta go. You just gotta.
Here, boy.
Blackie, you take my horse. He's the one you bought me, and he'll give you a better chance.
I don't...
I'll go on, please.
Well...
And Blackie...
Huh?
I'm awful cold. If you just let me wear your hat and your coat...
Cold? Well, I didn't think it was...
I'm shivering.
Why, here, kid, take him. I just didn't think it was that cold.
Thanks.
Well, Billy, I reckon this is goodbye, all right.
Goodbye, Blackie.
And, kid...
Yeah?
You'll be hearing a lot of things about me. Bad things. Most of them true. But if they ever try to tell you I didn't mean to be square by you, well, they'll be lying, and don't you let them convince you different. Get up. Get up there. Get up.
Marshal Cleary, Sheriff Otis, and the deputy approached the woods. Suddenly...
There he is. That's him. That's the totem hat he always wears. And that's his horse.
Trying to get away.
Shoot him down.
I got him. I knocked him from his saddle.
Keep your guns handy in case he's tricking us. Get up.
Get up there.
Come on.
Get up there.
Get up, boy.
Get up there. Get up there. Get up there. We got you, Blackie. Don't try nothing.
Pull up.
Whoa. Keep him covered.
What that? Sheriff, it ain't him. We shot the wrong fella.
The wrong fella.
It's Billy. And he's hurt plenty bad.
curtain falls on the first act of our Lone Ranger story. Before the next exciting scenes, please permit us to pause for just a few moments. Now to continue our story. When the three lawmen discovered it was Billy they had shot, the deputy mounted his horse, and the sheriff and the marshal carefully lifted the boy into his arms. The deputy was ordered to get him to a doctor as quickly as possible. And when he had disappeared in the direction of town...
Come on, Silver!
Hear that?
I thought I heard something.
Hurry, old boy, hurry!
Hold it. Whoa. Who is it? Can you make him out, Marshal?
There's more than one. Wait till they get clear of the trees.
Well, I'll...
Ain't that one feller masked?
Yeah, but that's Blackie with him. Hi there!
Here's your prisoner, Marshal.
Pull up there!
Please, get your hands up, stranger. You and the Injun both.
No, you don't, Sheriff. We caught your man after he'd gotten away from you. Take him. But you've got nothing on Tonto and me, and you know it. And you don't hold us without a fight.
Look here, mister. No masked fella can tell me what to do.
Just a second, Sheriff. Stranger,
Well,
it was a masked man that gave me the tip to come here. I was just wondering if maybe you weren't him.
it doesn't matter whether I am or not. Turning Blackie over to you. That's all that concerns you.
Well, Blackie, talking won't get you free. The marshals told me all about you. You'll hang sky high.
It had to happen someday. I ain't hollering.
I ought to knowed anybody low enough to let a kid like Billy get shot on account of him.
What's that? What's that about Billy?
Hey, now.
Flash your answer me. You said Billy been shot. If you skunks hurt that kid,
Blackie, it couldn't be helped.
Why, you...
Listen to reason, man. How was we to know it was him in your coat and hat and on that horse?
The horse? My coat and hat. Why, he must have been scheming it right then.
He was. You ain't worth the powder to blow you to smithereens, Blackie. But that kid seemed to think for some fool reason you was all right. Leastwise, he aimed for you to have a chance. He was willing to give his life to see that you did.
Sheriff, how bad's Billy hurt?
It's pretty bad. But he's on his way to a doctor now.
Then take me to him. Let me see him. Sheriff, I'll do anything you ask. But just let me find out how the kid's going to do.
I don't know.
I'm sorry, it's out of the question. You're going back to Yellow Gulch with me.
But doggone it, Marshal.
No use arguing. We catch a stage going through the night. Now get moving.
But
On your way. You ride between us.
Stranger, we're thanking you for your help.
Forget it.
Get up there. Get up there.
Get up there.
Where we go? To Laramie. From what the sheriff said, Billy's in danger of his life. I want to learn if he'll live.
Get him up, Scout.
Come on, Silver, come on!
In Laramie, kindly old Dr. Ewing had taken young Billy into his own home and had worked upon the youngster with all his skill. Billy's wounds were not serious, and yet when the sheriff called the next day to ask how the boy was doing...
Hello there, Billy. I've got someone to see you.
Howdy, young'un.
Hello, Sheriff.
Feel like talking for just a short while, son?
Oh, I don't know.
Here now, young'un. Where's all your pep? Golly, I never looked for the time when you wouldn't be full of spunk and raring to go.
Sheriff.
Huh?
Blackie. What's going to happen to Blackie?
Why, that is...
Billy, you shouldn't exert
But I gotta
yourself.
know, Sheriff. What have they done with him? Why ain't he been allowed to come and see me?
Billy, he's on his way to Yellow Gulch with the marshal. He wanted to see you the worst way, but it just couldn't be.
They're gonna hang him.
I don't think
They are gonna. They are. I know they are, but...
I tell you...
Oh, they can't do that to Blackie. They can't. Sheriff, you gotta
Quiet,
keep...
son. Billy, the sheriff's your friend. If he could do anything to help you, he would. Now, don't carry on so. Try to sleep, won't you, son?
I can't sleep, Doc. I just can't.
Don't you realize that if you don't, you won't get well?
I don't want to get well. I don't care what happens to me. Blackie, they're going to hang him.
I have to go out, Billy. But I won't be gone for long. And I want you to promise me something before I go.
Promise you something?
Whether you think you can sleep or not, really try to. It's the only thing that's going to help you. If you won't try it for yourself, then try it for my sake. What do you expect folks will think of me if I lose a patient as husky as you are?
I'll try, Doc.
There, that's better. Come on, Sheriff. Remember now, that's a promise. You see?
It's the doggonest thing.
He's not badly wounded, Sheriff. He is healthier than even you are. But he won't rest. He won't stop worrying about Blackie. And medicine can't save a life when the patient refuses to live.
Hours later, on the stage bound for Washoe, Mrs. Clemens, Marshal Cleary, and Blackie were startled by the sound of firing.
Driver! Hi, driver, what's the trouble?
It's a holdup. There's a masked man and a redskin. Get up! Get up there!
What's that? I know those men. Pull up! You hear me? Pull up at once.
What is it? What is it?
Those are the men who helped us catch Blackie here. Hello there! What is it, stranger?
The life of the boy who was wounded depends on Blackie returning to Laramie. There's no time to waste. You've got to turn back at once.
Turn back? Are you loco?
I said there's no time to waste.
Then you go to places.
I won't argue. One move and I shoot. Blackie, climb out here. You bet I will, mister. Get up behind me.
You'll be jailed for this, stranger. You'll get yours, and that's a promise.
Marshal, I don't want to oppose the law, but in a case like this, I have no choice. Ready, Blackie? Ready. Come on,
Get on, Stone.
Come on.
Blast him. Driver, back to Laramie. This is the law speaking, and you do what I say.
I think you hit him, Marshal.
I hope I did. Get going.
Get up there. Get up. Get on there. Get up there.
The marshal's bullets had taken effect. Both the masked man and Blackie had been hit. And, once beyond range, the Lone Ranger and Tonto reined in their mounts.
How bad you hurt?
Don't mind me, Kimasabi. Mine's a flesh wound. Caught me in the shoulder. Have a look at Blackie.
I was scared I'm done for, mister.
Oh, you got heap bad wound.
And then we can't go on.
We will. I'll make it somehow. I've got to. Before I cash in my chips, I can do one decent thing to make up for all the bad I've done. That's to give Billy reason for living.
It's a hard trip to Laramie.
But just the same, if it was twice as hard and twice as far, I'd still last it out. Now, let's not talk. Let's travel.
Right.
Come on.
Get him up, Stone. Get him up.
Early the next morning, Dr. Ewing hurried toward the front door of his home.
Yes?
Open.
What are you...
Blackie.
How was the boy?
What right have you to come
Doctor,
here?
look at Blackie. He's almost finished. Yet he came back here because he thought Billy needed him. Don't delay us because of my mask.
Blackie.
Good heavens, man. You rode here with a wound like that?
Don't mind me, Doc. I was the kid.
But you're in bad
Doc,
shape.
don't waste time. I can't hold out much longer.
It's a miracle you've lasted as long as you have. Blackie, the boy's delirious. I haven't been able to get him to sleep. But he certainly won't do him any good to see you like this.
Doc, you just leave that to me. Let's go in there, huh?
Blackie, I don't know what to say. A minute ago, I hated you. But now... Well, come on.
You too, stranger.
Of course. Stay here, Tonto. The marshal and the sheriff come. Keep them out.
How to do it?
Sheriff,
There.
Blackie's good.
Let me
He wouldn't do anything like
let me talk to him alone.
Oh, Blackie.
Just stay here.
Yes?
Come on, get me, Blackie.
Kid.
They can't hang you, Blackie.
It's me, kid.
Oh, Blackie.
It's Blackie.
I don't care.
Can't you hear me,
were,
kid?
What you did.
It's me, Blackie.
Come on, Blackie.
I've come back to you.
Blackie.
Shucks. You think there was anything in the world could keep me from you when you was ailing? Did you really think I wouldn't come back to you?
Is it really you, Blackie? Is it?
Sure is.
But they said you was gonna hang. They said that...
Someone said that about me. Well, of all the fool things. Why, kid, they won't hang me. I give you my word. Cross my heart. They just been telling you things that ain't so.
Honest, Blackie? Honest?
Honest. And I'll tell you something else.
Yeah?
I've changed, young fella. I'm all through being a crook like I was. Kid, from now on, for as long as I live, I'm going straight.
Gee, Blackie, that's swell.
You're looking tired.
I've been awful tired, but thinking of you and wondering what was going to happen.
Ain't no need to wonder now. That's all over with. Now what you're going to do is get some rest, so you and me can be together again. Rest, kid. Sleep. Sleep. All the sleep you can get.
Sure, Blackie. Sure.
Sleep.
Sure.
Blackie, you've done it. He's sleeping. It's the crisis. He'll live, Blackie.
Don't wake him up. Stranger.
Yes?
Don't let him know about me too soon, will you?
No, Blackie.
And after I'm gone, if you could kind of look after him a bit. There's nobody he can turn to. And you've been right kind.
You have my word. I will.
Thank you. Thanks.
Yes, Blackie?
It's no use, stranger. He can't answer you. He'll never answer anyone again.
Come.
Sheriff, your prisoner's inside.
This blasted Indian wouldn't let us by. By thunder, this time Blackie won't get away.
Not if I have to handcuff him.
You're right.
Where is he?
You're right, Sheriff. He won't get away from you. But I'll tell you something else.
Huh?
Blackie will never hang.
Come on, Silver! We're needed in Laramie! Oh, Silver! Away!
Saul Bulow, Laramie's banker, and Sheriff Otis called at the home of Dr. Ewing.
Come in, gentlemen.
We got here a little early, Doc, but Mr. Bulow didn't have much time to spare from the bank.
That's quite all right. Sit down, gentlemen, sit down. Billy's in his room. I'll call him.
Doctor,
Yes?
you told the boy?
No, I haven't, Mr. Bulow. I've been saving it for a surprise. I wanted you to see the boy's face when he learns about it. Yes, and before we tell him, I want to tell you something.
Yes?
I want you to know that Sheriff Otis and I think you're doing a fine and unselfish thing.
Well,
Something you'll never regret. Naturally, I've seen a lot of the boy while he's been my patient. I believe I've come to understand him as well as anyone could. And I can say this. If I had ever married, Billy's exactly the kind of a son I would have wanted for myself.
I'm glad to hear you say it. I was a little afraid. That is, well, after all, Blackie...
Sure, don't give that a thought. From the time Blackie found Billy an orphan 10 or 11 years ago and adopted him, sort of, up till the other day when he died, Blackie raised the boy just as straight as you or I would. It wasn't until Blackie was arrested that Billy even suspicioned he was a crook.
And that's something to remember, Mr. Bulow. Billy's young, and like all boys, he's something of a hero worshiper. In his case, his heroes are Blackie and the Masked Man. He understands now that Blackie was an outlaw. But you'll never get him to think badly of him. And you never win his affection if you try. It would be better to avoid the subject altogether.
Thank you. I'll remember that. Now, if you don't mind.
Of course, of course. Billy!
What? Oh, hello, Sheriff.
Howdy, son.
Come here, Billy. You know Mr. Bulow, don't you?
Uh-huh.
How do you do?
Hello.
Wondering what this is all about, eh? Well, we have a surprise for you. One you like.
Have you?
How would you like to grow up to be a banker?
A banker?
Sure. One of them fellows like Mr. Bulow here with cash to burn.
Gosh,
Billy, Mr. Bulow's been kind enough to offer you a home. What's more, he's going to take you into the bank with him, teach you the business. Now, how does that strike you?
Oh, gee, I don't know.
Kind of takes your breath away, don't it?
But I always wanted to work on a ranch.
What? Work on a ranch.
I think you'll find working in a bank more profitable than the cowboy's life, my boy. There's plenty of youngsters your age who'd give their right arms for the chance you're getting.
Oh, I guess so,
You want to come with me, don't you, Billy?
Well, I reckon so.
Of course you do. Now, I've had your things brought in from the cabin. They're packed and ready. Mr. Bulow's in a hurry and hasn't much time to spare. So wash your face, get into a clean shirt, and get back here as fast as you can.
All right.
Wait.
Huh?
Haven't you, anything to say to Mr. Bulow?
Say?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, gosh, sure. Thanks, Mr. Bulow. Thanks a heap.
That's all right, Billy. I think I know exactly how you feel. But give me a chance, my boy. I have an idea that you and I will be great friends.
The Lone Ranger and his faithful Indian companion Tonto, true to the promise they had made Blackie when the outlaw lay dying, were camped in the vicinity of Laramie and planned to remain there until Billy's future was assured. It was late in the afternoon on the following day they were brought to attention the sound of a rapidly approaching horse.
Their horse? Heading for our camp. Better get back out of sight. No, wait, I think that's Billy. Not him. Hello there!
Hi! Who there? Oh!
We didn't expect you, Billy.
And I didn't think I was ever going to get away to see you. Mr. Bulow's going to be awful mad when he finds I sneaked away from the bank. Hello, Tonto.
Oh, the bank?
Uh-huh. I work there now.
Well, that's news. I'm glad to hear it.
I ain't going to work there long.
No? Why not?
Gosh, would you like to work in a bank?
Oh, I don't know. I've never tried it. But it sounds to me like a good thing for you. How did it happen?
Do you know Mr. Bulow?
I've heard of him.
Well, he's going to adopt me.
What?
Honest, cross my heart. I'm living in his house, and he's getting the papers all fixed. But I wish he wasn't.
What seems to be the trouble?
Oh, I don't know.
Don't you like Mr. Bulow?
Oh, he's all right, I guess.
There must be something.
Oh, it's...
What is it?
Well, gee, I never asked him to adopt me, and I never asked him to let me work in the bank, neither. I don't see why they couldn't have asked me what I wanted to do.
What does Dr. Ewing say about this?
Well...
He approves, huh?
Uh-huh.
And the sheriff?
Oh, shucks. He'd say anything was all right if Doc Ewing said so.
I see. Sheriff Otis, Dr. Ewing, and Mr. Bulow all think this is the best thing for you. But you disagree. Is that it?
Oh, I suppose...
The sheriff and Dr. Ewing are your friends. Billy, you should know they'd never plan anything that wasn't for your own good.
Oh, they've been swell.
Well, then...
But, gosh, I was hoping that...
Yes?
Oh, you just laugh at me.
Don't you think I'm your friend?
Sure,
and
but...
friends don't laugh at each other's problems, do they?
No.
Then out with it.
Well, if you want to know, I was hoping maybe you and Tonto would take me with you. I'm old enough to handle a gun and...
So that's it.
Well, I knew you'd just laugh.
I'm not laughing. Tonto and I are both proud to know you trust us that much. And, Billy, I'm afraid you have a mistaken idea.
Huh?
Our lives aren't fun. They're not easy either. If the time and circumstances had been different, perhaps neither one of us would be where he is. And certainly neither Tonto nor I would ask anyone to share our dangers.
Well, I'm not afraid.
Of course you're not. But do you know what it would mean if you insisted on this?
No.
It would mean that Tonto and I had failed.
Well, I don't savvy.
The West is a great country, Billy. Someday it's going to be even greater. Someday the law is going to be respected, and honest people will be able to live and work in peace. That's what Tonto and I are trying to help bring about. But in order to do that, we need help from young fellows like you.
Me?
Right. Nothing Tonto and I could do in 100 years would bring the law to the West unless there were honest citizens on our side. You have a chance to become someone with influence and power. You could show others that it pays to abide by the law. But if you threw away that chance because of us, then it would prove that we were going about this in the wrong way, that we were defeating our own purpose. You understand that?
Gosh, I never thought of it just like that.
Then it's time you did. If you left the bank without permission, it's time you got back.
Well, you ain't leaving me, are you?
And we'll be around for a while yet.
And you really think I ought to stay with Mr. Bulow and do like he says?
I think so, at least for the present. Can't do any harm.
Well...
Now jump back in that saddle. When you're home, tell Mr. Bulow you're sorry you left your work and it won't happen again.
I can come and see you again, though, can't I?
You'd better not. We'll look you up, however, if we have to leave the district. That's a promise. And, Billy.
Yeah?
Don't tell anyone where we're camped. You haven't, have you?
Oh, gosh, I'd never do that.
Adios, then.
Goodbye. Goodbye, Tonto.
Ah.
Get up, boy. Get up there.
Him heap good boy.
And I don't like what he told me.
Oh, what that?
I couldn't say anything to him because I may be wrong. However, I'd rather it had been almost anyone but Bulow that adopted the boy.
What manner?
He has a good reputation around here, Kemosabe. But I've heard ugly rumors concerning the fellow other places.
Oh.
So we stay here. Blackie trusted us to look out for the boy, Tonto, and we're keeping that trust.
At the bank, Saul Bulow merely smiled when he was told that Billy was missing from his work. But when he reached the privacy of his home, his face hardened. And when he recognized the boy's voice outside, he lost control of his temper completely.
We'll settle this once and for all. Might as well have it out now as later. So there you are.
Oh, hello, Mr. Bulow.
Come here.
Gee, I'm sorry, Mr. Bulow. Honest, I am.
Oh, little coyote.
Oh, please. No, please. I never...
You will run away from your work, will you? Who told you you could? Who gave you permission to leave the bank without my knowledge?
Nobody, Mr. Bulow, but I only...
Where did you go?
Just for a ride.
You were raised by a thief, and you've got thieving blood in your veins. You should be in jail, not in a decent home.
Mr. Bulow, I'm awful sorry, but it won't happen again. I promise it won't.
You're right. You're quite right.
Oh, I'll do anything to make up for it. You've been awful good to me, and honest, I appreciate it. It was real good of you to adopt a feller like me.
Adopt you? Who said I had?
Well, I know you ain't yet, but...
And never will.
Oh, gee, can't you give me another chance? Just one more.
Who said I ever intended to adopt you?
Well, what do you mean, Mr. Bulow?
You'll find out very soon.
Huh?
If I'm not mistaken, you ran away to see that masked friend of yours.
I never...
Don't bother to lie. I guessed as much when I learned you were gone. The look in your face proves it. Think quite a bit of him, don't you?
I think he's the swellest fella there ever was.
That's what you say. But I know your kind. If he were in trouble, you'd run to save your worthless hide first. And think of him second.
I would not. Besides, he ain't in no trouble.
He isn't?
He ain't. I know he ain't.
Not quite so sure of it as you were at first, huh?
What are you saying things that ain't so for?
One moment. To save a misunderstanding, I believe I'd better make certain things clear.
Huh?
I think I made it plain I never intended to adopt you. I had, however, a reason for bringing you here. A reason for putting you into the bank.
Well, what reason?
Not so fast. I'll explain myself very shortly. But before I do, I want you to understand one thing, and understand it so well you can never say afterward that you didn't have your warning.
Yeah?
If a word of what I say to you here is ever repeated to anyone, mind you, your masked friend will hang sky high.
That ain't so.
No. Just step over here. I'll show you the proof.
One night, a week later, Billy left Saul Bulow's home and made his way to a wooden bench built around the trunk of a great oak tree. As he slumped to the seat, a ray of moonlight showed his face streaked with tears.
I gotta go through with it. If I don't, then the masked man will be hung and it'll all be my fault. I gotta go through with it. I just got to.
Billy.
it's you.
Sit down.
Go away. Don't stay here.
You and I are going to have a talk.
Well, what about?
Tonto and I have been watching you. You weren't happy.
I told you I never wanted to work in a bank.
It's more than that. There's something else bothering you. Look at you now. You've been crying.
I ain't neither.
Tell me about it, friend.
Oh, go away.
You don't mean that.
I do. I do, too, mean it.
No. You're frightened at something. You're frightened now. You're so frightened you don't want to talk even to me.
Just leave me be.
Not until you've told me what this is about.
No.
Then there is something.
I won't talk. I won't.
You will.
Let go.
Now, hold
Let me
still.
go, please. Can't you see I don't want to talk? Can't you do like I ask you?
No,
Don't follow me. Don't come after me. You can't make me talk no matter what you do. You just stay where you are.
Get him?
No, Tonto. The boy's half frightened out of his wits. Try and make him talk now would only frighten him more. There must be a better way to get to the bottom of this. It's up to us to find it.
The curtain falls on the first act of our Lone Ranger drama. Before the next exciting scenes, please permit us to pause for just a few moments. Now to continue our story. For years, it had been Saul Bulow's custom to arrive at his bank a few minutes after it had been opened by his employees. The morning of the next day was no exception. But this time, as he opened the door...
Mr. Bulow.
Good morning, Ned. Why haven't you slipped out?
Oh, Mr. Bulow, something terrible's happened.
What's that? What's everyone doing at the safe?
We was just going to send for you, sir, but I said, seeing as how
Can't you answer a plain question? What is all this?
We've been robbed, Mr. Bulow. Oh, it's terrible, sir.
Oh, just look inside here.
Good heavens. Stand aside. Empty. Empty.
They're all empty, sir.
Cleaned out. Who haven't opened the bank this morning? Has the sheriff been informed? Where's Billy? What?
I opened the bank this morning, Mr. Bulow. That is, I think I was the first one here.
Don't you know?
Well, I thought I seen Master Billy leaving the bank just ahead of me. But, of course, I must have been mistaken.
What's this? You saw Billy leaving this bank?
I don't like to say it.
Now stand there stuttering like an idiot. Did you or did you not see him go out of here?
Yes, sir, I did.
Then why couldn't you have said so in the first place?
But I didn't want to harm him, sir.
Shut up! You're a blathering fool. Who's checked on what's been stolen? Anybody?
I tried to, sir.
Well,
of course, you know, it ain't easy to tell right off what...
Are you trying to tell me my business or trying to excuse your incompetence? How much is missing?
It must be close to 50,000.
50,000? And the lot of you stand here doing nothing? You, get the sheriff.
Yes, Mr. Bulow. Right away, Mr. Bulow.
And you get down to my house. If Billy's there, which I don't expect, tell him to get here at once.
Yes, sir.
Now, wait.
Yes, Mr. Bulow.
If he isn't at the house, scour the town for him. If he isn't in town, try to find someone who saw him leave. If you can't do that, consider yourself fired. Now get on with it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The rest of you close your mouths and try to stay out of my way. $50,000 stolen from under your noses. If I didn't know how stupid you are, by thunder, I'd say you'd helped.
Billy, however, was not found. And when it was reported that he had been seen racing swiftly from town with a satchel under one arm, a posse was hastily gathered. In the meantime, the Lone Ranger, unaware of the bank robbery, but urged to haste by another discovery, drove his great white stallion toward his secret camp. Silver thundered across country with the speed of light, leaping arroyos, crashing through saddle-high underbrush, until at last the masked man pulled him to a sliding stop.
Oh, Silver! Oh, fella! Oh, boy! Oh! Tonto, I've been through Bulow's home. The thing I found what frightened Billy.
And me got news, too.
News?
A fella robbed bank.
What's that?
The law blame boy. Posse hunt him.
Bulow's bank was robbed and they think Billy did it? If he did, then I know the reason.
What that?
I haven't time to explain. Silver and I have a long ride ahead of us. I have work for you.
Uh-huh.
Try to find Billy before the posse does.
Him head for swamp.
Then ride there. Find him if you have to ride through the center of it.
Can't do it. Here, Scout.
Tell Billy to surrender. Tell him not to be afraid. Then I'll get him out of this. Tell him he may have to face trial before I can get back. But trial or no trial, he has nothing to fear.
Me tell him.
Then on your way. And see that Billy comes to no harm.
Get him up, Scout. Get him up.
Come on, boy.
Hail Silver! Away!
Billy, who had been familiar with every foot of the swamp since early childhood, spurred his laboring mount over the only trail that offered solid footing. His quirt rose and fell, and he pleaded with his horse.
Get up, boy! Get up! If we can get through here, fella, maybe we'll have a chance. Get up there! Get up! To the left, boy! We gotta circle that old log there. And straight ahead again. Come on! Come on! Take much further. Get up! Get up there! Come on!
Stop!
What? Tonto!
You stop!
Stay back! Leave me be! Get up, boy! Get up!
You stop! Masked man send message.
Oh, boy! Oh, there! Oh, boy!
Oh.
Huh?
Him say, him know what matter. Him know why you take cash. You let law take you.
Who, the masked man said that? Then even he's against me.
No, that's not true. Him your friend.
Well, then why?
Him say him fix up trouble. You not worry.
But he doesn't know. He can't know. If he knew, he wouldn't have meddled. There comes the posse now. Tonto, I'll go to jail, and it'll be your fault.
You not worry.
Oh, that's easy to say.
There he is.
The Redskins got him.
Then we are, both of you.
Steady, boy.
Billy, I'm doggone sorry about this.
I ain't gonna put up no fight.
Nope. Don't reckon you are. Son, what in Tunket made you do it? Didn't you know that if ever there was a time when you needed cash bad, I'd give it to you, never a question asked? Didn't you know you had friends you could bank on?
I ain't got nothing to say.
Blast it all, kid. I never so hated to make an arrest in all the time I've held office. Doggone.
Yeah.
Huh?
He's hid the cash somewheres. We looked through his saddlebags, and it ain't there. Can't find a satchel he was seen with neither. He must have hid it someplace in the swamp.
Care to tell us where, Billy?
I ain't got nothing to say.
Kind of foolish, ain't you? You know, being just a youngster, if you give back that cash, it likely wouldn't go so hard with you. You won't tell where you hid it?
I ain't got nothing to say.
Well, then I reckon I ain't either. Get back on your horse. Injun, you'll have to come with us. You'll be wanted to give testimony. Boys, hit leather. We're heading back for town.
Quiet, this here courtroom. Quiet.
The crowd that had pushed into the little courtroom was distinctly unfriendly. It was soon clear as the trial progressed that even the judge was convinced of Billy's guilt and was restrained from saying so only by the position he held. When Billy himself was at length sworn in, the spectators became almost unmanageable.
He's most as bad as Blackie was. Now watch him try to lie out of it. We'll fix him if he does. That's enough. Any more noise like this and I'll clear the courtroom. Now, hush yourselves. Get on with the witness.
Your Honor, there ain't no use wasting time on him. He refuses to talk. He says nothing can make him say anything.
Then call your next witness.
Will Saul Bulow please to take the stand?
Don't waste my time any more than necessary. I have business to attend to.
You solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, help you?
I do.
Now then, Mr. Bulow, so folks will get the complete picture, I'd like first of all for you to tell the court in your own words, just what was your relationship with the defendant?
I had planned to adopt him. Eventually, of course, he would have been my heir.
And did he seem grateful to you for your generosity and kindness, Mr. Bulow?
I'm not so sure I understand the question.
What I mean is, how did he act to home?
He proved sullen and vindictive from the first. I began to doubt the wisdom of my action almost at once, but persevered in the hope that his attitude would change.
I don't believe it. That's a lot of nonsense. Billy's as fine a boy.
Doggone, can't you folks hush up? Doc, you started it. You sit down and keep still before I have to ask you to leave.
Folks, I'm not trying to prejudice you against the defendant. Nevertheless, it must be plain to all of you that he repaid my kindness with treachery. He could claim no relationship to me, yet I was willing to adopt him. He was the ward for years of the most notorious thief known to this district, and yet I was willing to take him into my home.
But you had your reasons, Bulow.
A masked man! You shouldn't have come here. Run for it. Don't let him catch you. Please, masked man.
They won't bother me, Billy. Judge, you're going to listen to me. If anybody tries to prevent me, I'll know how to deal with him.
Folks, show the masked fellow the respect them low-hanging guns of his demands. Keep shut and let him speak his piece.
How many of you here recognize this man beside me?
There's Clem Placer from over Jonesville way. Hi,
Clem. Howdy. The masked fella brought me here in a doggone big hurry for a doggone good reason. Now let him tell it to you.
I still don't know the entire truth of this affair, but I do know this much, knowing Billy. In the first place, he didn't steal that money from the bank. Billy's as honest as anyone here.
Of course he stole it. Everybody knows it.
Billy, can you guess why I brought Clem to Laramie?
Well, my gosh, he's the fellow that wrote the letter that Mr. Bulow showed me.
Exactly. Clem, tell them about it.
Billy, I never wrote no such letter. You take it from me, if that polecat there ever said I did, he was lying. That's the straight of it.
Now, wait, listen.
You listen.
Here now. What's all this about a letter?
Billy took the blame for that robbery to protect me. Bulow showed him a letter he claimed was written by Clem that stated it could be proved I had murdered 2 deputy marshals. Because Bulow must have threatened to show that letter, Billy fell in with whatever scheme it was Bulow suggested. I found the letter when I went through Bulow's home on the day of the robbery.
Are you people going to take the word of an outlaw? Are you?
It's Clem's word they're taking, not mine. Billy, just what did Bulow force you to do?
It was Mr. Bulow stole the cash. He stole it and said if I didn't run away like I was to blame, then he'd fix it so the masked man would hang. He's got the cash hid away under the floor in his barn. You can go there and find it.
And the forged letters in the strong box he keeps at home.
Grab the polecat.
Hey, he's running for the door.
Likely he was going to beat it out of the country after Billy was jailed for stealing our cash.
Well, he'll leave all right, by way of the rope. Arrest Bulow, Sheriff. The skunk, using a boy to help him rob the bank, because he knew Billy would be too frightened to check on the lies. If he doesn't get the rope for this, I'll shoot him myself.
And so will I. Hey, hold it.
Where'd the masked man go? Did anybody see which way he went? Hey, where's the masked man?
Listen, Billy.
It's him. He's gone.
But I've got a notion you'll see him again, young fella.
You have? Honest, do you think so?
Mm-hmm. Didn't he make Blackie a promise? Didn't he tell Blackie he'd look out for you?
Oh, sure, but...
Well, son, the way you and Trouble seem to meet, I'd be surprised if his job's half finished.
Come on, Silver! We're needed in Laramie! Hello, Silver! Away!
A boy of 14 was retreating the length of Laramie's general store while the proprietor angrily waved his arms in front of his face.
Get out! Go on, get out. Get out and stay out. I don't want to ever see your face in here again.
Oh, gee, Mr. Robbins, I wasn't doing you no harm. I just wanted to sell you some of the vegetables and things I've been raising.
I don't want any. I don't do business with folks I can't trust. Now clear out.
Well, listen, Mr. Robbins, I never had nothing to do with Mr. Bulow robbing the bank. Well, ask the sheriff.
I ain't taking no chances. There's the door. Pester me once more, and it's a toll I boot you'll be getting.
Young man, don't you be wasting my time.
But, ma'am, these are things I've raised myself that I'll sell you real cheap.
Cheap? When you're as likely as not to steal something behind my back? Young man, that ain't my idea of a bargain. Now, there's the door. Don't slam it behind you.
And if you want my advice, young fella, you'll get out of Laramie and keep traveling till you get to a place where folks don't know you. But whatever you do, don't come back here.
But listen. All right. You think you got me licked, don't you? Well, you ain't. I'll show you. I'll show all of you. I'm just as good as anybody else, and someday I'll prove it.
Later that day, two men reined in before a small cabin about 5 miles from town.
Whoa, boy, whoa. Billy! You to home, Billy?
Nice place he's got.
Shucks, Billy's a real hard worker. Billy! Hey, where are you?
Hello, Sheriff.
Afternoon, young feller. You recollect Walt here, don't you? He's been away from Laramie for a spell, but you ought to know him.
Uh-huh. Howdy.
Glad to see you again, kid.
Oh, well, Billy, you needn't stand blocking the door there like we was a couple of crooks. Or ain't you going to invite us in?
Oh, come in.
Keeping things real neat since you come back to the old place to live, huh?
I guess.
What's the matter? Kinda down in the mouth, Bob?
I guess.
Oh, now you better perk up. Used to be you could find a grin for me summers. Ain't you and me friends no more?
I don't guess I got no friends no more. Excepting the masked man and Tonto.
Hey, you do sound real mournful. Sheriff, I reckon we didn't get here none too soon. Kid sure is blue. Don't you think we better tell him what we come for?
Seems as if. Look, Billy, I don't aim to pretend none. I know what's bothering you just as well as you do.
You'd think I'd been convicted of something.
Sure, son, I savvy. But that's the way folks act sometimes. They don't stop to figure things out like you and me do. They just take a quick look at the appearances of things, then take a quicker jump to a fool conclusion. And someone has to suffer for it. In this case, that's someone being you.
You wait. I'll show 'em.
Aim to stay on here?
Gosh, I gotta do something, don't I?
Well, Billy, most any other time I'd agree with you. I'd say stick and fight it out till folks come around to seeing things straight.
I'm gonna.
I said most any other time I'd tell you that. But this time I can't. There ain't any special use of fighting when there ain't any chance of you winning.
Huh?
Son, I hate to say this, but you got too many things agin you. In the first place, there's Blackie.
Don't you dare say anything agin him.
Hold on now, Billy. I ain't saying anything special agin him, though there ain't no use denying he was a crook. But anyhow, folks are bound to remember how he took care of you all them years, and a lot of them don't realize you never knowed he was crooked till just there at the last. They figure maybe you helped him some. I've even had folks accuse me of going easy with you, hiding things I knew, 'cause we was friendly.
Uh-huh, I know.
Then after Blackie died, Mr. Bulow took you in and his bank was robbed. Of course, the masked man proved Mr. Bulow was just using you for his own crooked schemes, and the same was brought out in court. But like all us, there's folks that can't believe the plain truth when they're told it. They got the kind of natures that all the time have to be suspicioning things. They wouldn't be happy if they weren't. So there you are. You could stay on here another 10 years, and there'd always be folks to look down their noses at you.
You mean even you want me to leave?
For your own good. Shucks, you could start in again somewheres else where nobody knows about you. Tell you what I'll do. I got a good friend over in the Panhandle, fella named Scott. Owns quite a spread. I'll give you a note to him.
I won't leave. I won't.
Sheriff's giving you good advice, kid. And if you're afraid to pull stakes 'cause you're short of cash, why, reckon I can help you out some. Take this place of yours. It ain't worth a great deal, but it's worth something. Don't know what I could do with it, but I'd be willing to give you a couple of $100 for it. That'd see you through, wouldn't it?
Gee, I don't know what to do.
That's a mighty nice offer for Walt to make, Billy. He's only doing it to help you.
Well, I've never lived anywheres but Laramie, to remember.
Why, kid, after you'd got used to it in the Panhandle, you'd probably like it twice as good.
Maybe.
Well, what do you think?
Well, could I think it over for a bit? Do I have to decide right now?
Why, of course not. Take all the time you want. Take a week or two if you'd rather. Don't make no difference to me. Just let me know when you've made up your mind. Well, come on, Sheriff. Let's be getting back.
See you later, Billy. And you give what we were saying some thought.
Uh-huh.
And say, kid.
Yeah?
I'm staying with my folks in town. I hear you've been raising taters and stuff to sell, but nobody's been buying. Why don't you come round to our place? We'll buy some.
Would you? Would you, honest?
Why, sure thing, Bub. We'll be looking for you. Bye.
I'll be there tomorrow. Gee, maybe I can sell them enough so I can buy some things I've been needing. If I can, then I'll be able
Billy.
It's the masked man. Oh, gee, I thought you'd left.
Tonto and I were gone for a while, Billy, but we came back again to see how you were doing. I was at the window here while the sheriff and that other fellow were inside.
Did you hear what they said?
Yes.
Wasn't that one feller swell? Did you hear him say his folks would buy some things off of me?
I did, Billy.
Maybe if they buy and find out I can be trusted, maybe others will do the same. And maybe
we'll
I
hope so. But I'm more interested in the advice they gave you.
About leaving, you mean?
Yes. Are you?
Gosh, I don't know. It don't seem right somehow, and yet...
No one ever won a fight by running away from it, Billy.
Well, but the sheriff
But
said...
you couldn't win. I know, I heard him. And I know he's your friend. But even the advice of friends can be mistaken.
Then you think I should stay?
You want to?
Oh, gosh, yes. I don't want to go. I'd a heap rather stay here.
All right, stay then. Stay, Billy, and I'll make you a promise.
A promise?
Fight this out, and Tonto and I will fight on your side. We'll fight until you win.
Will ya?
You have my word.
Oh, golly, You just bet I'll stay.
Good boy. Shake on it.
There.
Now then, it's a bargain.
But what'll we do?
I have an idea I want to talk over with Tonto. I'll tell you about it later.
Oh, swell.
Come on, Silver.
Bye.
Adios. Adios, Silver. Away!
Returning to the camp he shared with Tonto, the masked man spoke of the plan he had mentioned to Billy.
Although Billy's difficulty lies in the fact that people refuse to believe he could be involved in so much trouble without being partly to blame.
Not right.
But there's something been overlooked. Something we could turn to Billy's advantage.
What that?
Blackie carried out his robberies for years. He was a thief long before he took Billy under his care, and remained a thief afterwards, although he kept it from the boy. He couldn't have spent all the money he stole, especially during the last years of his career.
Law, not find money.
That's exactly what I'm getting at. No money was found. Blackie must have hidden it.
Not right.
That money could be found, and if it were Billy who voluntarily turned it over to the law, then no one could suspect him of dishonesty. And we'll stay out of the picture. We'll let it be thought that only Billy knew of the money's existence. And therefore, he could have kept it if he had chosen.
That heap good idea.
The question, of course, is to find where Blackie has hidden the money.
That'd be heap hard.
Perhaps. It may not prove as difficult, however, as it seems at first thought.
What you mean?
I believe someone else has thought of the same thing.
Oh.
Someone who wants that hidden money for himself.
You know, feller?
If I'm not mistaken, I do. And it may be that he knows where the money is.
Oh.
In which case, we'll let him show us, whether he's willing or not.
Early the next morning, Billy acted on Walt's invitation and, loading his small cart with vegetables, drove to town. There, while Walt stood by, he displayed his wares to Walt's mother, who bought generously.
My, this is fine lettuce. And these turnips ain't it just dandies?
I'm awful glad you like 'em, ma'am. Can I sell you anything else?
I'd like to buy more, but I'm afraid that'll be all I can use for now.
Just take him on into the house, Billy, and come back and I'll pay you.
Uh-huh. In the kitchen, ma'am?
Right on the table.
Yes'm.
Well, Ma, boy ain't so bad as folks have been telling you, huh?
Indeed he isn't. He's a regular little gentleman. And to think of him at his age, just 14 or 15, ain't he?
Uh-huh.
Well, to think of a boy of 14 having the gumption to make his own way like this. I vow there ain't many that'd do it.
I took a liking to the kid the minute I saw him.
You can tell him to call around regular. It'll save me a lot of fetching from the store.
I put 'em where you said, ma'am, and thanks a heap for buying from me.
Land's sakes, child, I ain't done you no favor. It's you done me one. Vegetables like you gotta be a real treat.
Here you are, Billy.
Oh, thanks. Thanks ever so much.
Ma says you can come around some more. Maybe in a day or two again, huh?
I sure will. Gee, business is picking up right smart. Good day to you.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Get up there.
Well, I got my grocery money in the kitchen, son. I'll pay you back.
Oh, you don't have to do that, Mom.
Indeed I do. What would your pa say if he found out I let you pay for victuals when you come to visit us? I'd never hear the last of it. Wasn't much, was it?
No, just 50 cents.
Well, Why, I declare.
Huh? What's the matter?
My money's gone.
No.
I had close to $50 right here in this jar.
But where could it have got to? Now, look, Ma, you must have put it somewhere else and forgot.
I never did. It wasn't an hour ago. I counted it after paying that fella for the cordwood. After I counted it, I put it right back. It's been took some time between then and now.
Why, Ma, that's the same as saying I took it.
I never said no such thing.
Well, there ain't been nobody but you and me in here the past hour.
Ain't there?
Shucks, no. Paul went down to the harness shop right after breakfast. The fella delivered the cordwood, and that's all there's been around.
Well, that's funny.
Of course, somebody could have sneaked in here sometime, maybe.
With me in the kitchen the whole time? I ain't been out of it until just now when that boy... Oh.
Huh?
That boy. He come in here to leave what I bought off him.
Now, wait, Ma.
Wait, nothing. It was him. It had to be him.
Well, you shouldn't say a thing like that unless you're sure of it.
I am sure of it. I'm as sure as if I'd seen him with my own eyes, the thief. And after you being so good to him, too.
What are you doing?
I'm getting my hat and coat, that's what. Little wretch. Land's sakes, you do a body a kindness, and that's what you get for it. You stay here and watch things while I'm out.
Where are you going?
To see the sheriff. He'll lock up that little sneak and get my money back, or by thunderation I'll know the reason why.
But...
The curtain falls on the first act of our Lone Ranger story. Before the next exciting scenes, please permit us to pause for just a few moments. Now to continue our story. Billy drove home, and unaware of the trouble brewing in town, went to work straightening up the cabin. Shortly afterward, he heard some horsemen stopping outside and...
Gosh, what's that? Oh, hello. What?
Billy, you're in trouble.
What?
Now, look, kid. I don't think you done it, but you better clear out. Just as sure as sin, they'll pin it on you. You won't have a chance.
Done what? Gee whiz.
Right after you left this morning, Ma found her grocery money gone. Of course, I knew she was mistaken, but she's bound you done it, and she's gone to the sheriff. He'll be out here most any time now, so you'd better be gone when he comes.
Well, I never stole nothing. Honest, I never.
Ain't I telling you, I don't think you did. Shucks, I was your friend from the first, weren't I? I can tell by looking at him whether a feller's square or not. I figure you are. But what I figure don't count.
But, gee,
Now, listen. Don't waste no time. I come to warn you to see that you had a fair chance to get away. Look, here's more than $100. These friends of mine come along to witness this. Take the cash for your place here and then beat it.
You're buying my place?
You heard him, didn't you, kid?
Better take it, Bub, and thank your lucky stars you got Walt for a friend.
Well, but...
Billy, I ain't got no more use for this place than I got for an extra foot. All I'm doing this for is to see that you have cash enough to get away from here. Now, take it vamos pronto.
Well, but if I'm selling, won't there be no papers to sign? Or...
Nary a one. That's why my friends come along. With them to testify you sold out willing, it'll be a deal. Now, you take this cash and...
One moment.
What was it?
Billy, don't accept that money.
Well, but...
crook! What?
Don't slap leather unless you want to make a gunfight out of this.
Don't shoot. Please don't shoot. The masked man's my friend.
Funny kind of a friend for a kid to have.
But it looks as though he needs one. Walt, if you want this place, you can have it for $500.
What's that?
Oh, gosh, wait, you don't savvy. He ain't buying 'cause he wants it. Walt's my friend, too. He's just doing it to help me.
Yes? Then let him help you $500 worth.
I ain't got that much. If I did, it's 5 times what the place is worth.
How much have you?
Just what reason...
How much have you?
That's my business.
Well, then the sale's off.
Ain't the kid got something to say about this?
Of course, but I think he'll do what I tell him.
Billy, are you going to let this masked hombre boss you around?
Oh, gosh, I don't know what... Yes, I am. He's been my friend for longer than anybody else around here, and I'll do anything he says, no matter what.
Well, Walt?
Well, all I got with me is $300.
Then hand it over.
But, gee, mister, I don't want to cheat him. He's right about the place not being worth over 100.
Take the money.
Well, but...
Take it.
Well...
I shouldn't pay it. I
think you'd have been willing to pay 5 times as much if it had been necessary, Walt. The deal's finished. Clear out. Clear out.
Come on, Walt. The place is yours. That's what you wanted, ain't it?
Yeah. But I'll remember how you held me up when I was just doing you a favor, kid. Don't think I won't.
Gosh, Masked Man, I don't feel as if I should have...
Taken the money?
Yeah.
And don't let it worry you. No matter what Walt said, he didn't buy this place as a favor to you. I'll tell you...
Hey, look at there! There comes the sheriff with a whole pack of fellas.
Then I'm leaving. But, Billy...
Huh?
I haven't time to explain, but it was planned for the stolen money to be found on your place. It won't be. Tell the truth, that you weren't to blame for the theft. And nothing can be done to you. No one saw you take the money, and as long as the money can't be found here, you're safe.
You better hurry. There they come.
Right. Yep. Come on, Silver. Come on, old fellow.
Tonto was waiting for the Lone Ranger some distance from Billy's cabin.
Oh, Silver. Oh, boy. Oh, there. Oh. What happened?
Take this.
It's cash.
Silver and bills. The money's supposed to have been stolen from Walt's mother. I found it where I thought I would, hidden in Billy's wagon.
Him not put cash there?
No, Kemosabe, he didn't. Walt did. He must have placed it there this morning when Billy called at his home.
Oh.
The sheriff's at Billy's place now. No doubt he'll search it, but he'll find nothing.
Him see you go?
Yes, but that's all
Maybe
right.
lawman think boy give you cash.
To hide for him? He won't, Tonto, for a very good reason.
And what that?
You're taking that money to town and making it look as though there were no robbery at all.
Me not savvy.
Listen, I'll explain.
Although the sheriff returned to Laramie with word that nothing had been found in Billy's cabin that would justify arresting the boy, the townspeople were not satisfied. The sheriff's partiality for the youngster was well known, and there were many who believed that if he had performed his duty honestly, Billy would have gone to jail.
Fellers, I don't care if the sheriff does say he searched that place from top to bottom. I don't care if he swears to it 12 times over. I'm here to say, if he didn't find the cash, it was because he didn't want to.
It's a pity the law can't protect us from a thieving boy. That's all I have to say. I told you weren't to be trusted. I told you so. Don't you recollect me telling it to you? Why, I was just saying the other day to Miss Hawkins.
I tell you, the rest of you can do as you like. But me, I'm calling on the sheriff. I'm going to find out for myself if he's willing to do his duty. If he ain't, then there's just one thing to do. Run that kid out of the county yourself.
But that night, the masked man and Billy knelt behind a clump of bushes not far from the cabin. They watched 3 men digging by lantern light.
Now do you understand why Walt was so anxious to help you, Billy?
He was after Blackie's cash.
Right. Somehow he learned where it was. Perhaps he knew Blackie at one time or another. Perhaps he spied on him. Anyhow, that doesn't matter. The point is, Walt wasn't interested in you in the least. He only wanted you out of the way.
Gee.
Be careful. Don't let them hear you.
I won't.
Remember what you're to do?
Uh-huh. Just as soon as they've dug to where the cash is, you're going to get him to chase me.
Right.
Uh-huh. And then, when they can't see me, I'm to run over there and grab the cash myself.
Tonto will help you. He's over there beyond them.
Well, then I'm to get to my horse.
And ride as fast as you can for town. I'll most likely be there ahead of you.
Uh-huh. But there's something I don't see.
Yes?
Why don't you just hold them up and take the cash now?
Because you're taking that money, Billy, and you're turning it over to the law.
Huh?
When questions are asked, you're going to be able to answer honestly, without involving Tonto and me. Walt may suspect that I drew him away for a purpose, but he'll be in no position to say so.
Well, then I better...
There's no more time for talk now, Billy. I think they're nearly finished. I'll have to get back to Silver. When the time comes, move fast.
Yeah.
How much people we got to dig?
Can't be much farther.
I'm getting tired. You think Blackie was figuring to leave this here forever?
That's just about what he did figure. This he buried here is all cash he hid away when he first met the kid. He never planned on using it unless there was a bad need for it.
Well, come on, let's keep going.
Yeah. If somebody should ride by and see us out here with this lantern, might get too doggone curious.
Dig faster. Come on, hurry up. We got all time.
We struck something.
It's the box he put the cash in. Keep on going.
Well, from the size of it, there must be a plenty there.
There is. Told you I heard Blackie boasting he had over 20,000 hid away, didn't I?
That's it. It's clear.
Come on, then. Give me a hand. We'll carry it to the cabinet.
Come on, Silver!
Oh, who's
Hey,
that?
somebody's shooting at us.
Steady, old boy!
There he is over there. Come on, grab your guns. Bring that on down. Come on, get it. Bring it down.
That same evening, the citizens of Laramie called on the sheriff at his office to demand action.
You tell that kid to clear out, Sheriff, or we will.
How do we know who he'll be stealing from next? It might be most any of us. And likely when it happens, he'll have another slick story to get him out of it.
Right. Hold on. Listen to me, folks. You're getting things all twisted. You're saying Billy's a crook, and I know doggone well he ain't. Now, you take my word for it and forget this fool talk.
Then you ain't gonna do nothing about it. Is that it, Sheriff?
If you want it put plain, that's it.
Then we will. Who's with me? Who'll come along to tell that young coyote to clear out?
I
will. Good. He's just a kid, but a kid can steal like anybody else. Come on, we'll
Don't
trust
stay where you are.
Hey, a masked man.
Not a one of you leaves this office.
Sheriff, it's a crook. Arrest him. He can't
If he was a crook, I'd say trying to arrest him right now would be pretty risky business. And I just so happen to know he ain't one. I've met this hombre before.
You see, folks, the sheriff ain't only sticking up for that kid, but he's siding with outlaws as well.
I see that
I'm
now.
not an outlaw. I'm here only to prevent your making a mistake. You're not going to get a chance to harm Billy until you've learned he's not the thief you think him.
We know all we need to know about Billy. Why, Thunder...
Careful.
Come on, there's enough of us here. Let's rush him.
Quiet. The first man moves, stops lead.
Sheriff!
Hey, there's Walt Small. Let her through. Ma'am, what business you got here?
She can tell you about the kid. It was her he stole that $50 from.
But he didn't. That's why I've come. I've made a terrible mistake.
What's that, ma'am?
I found the money. It was in my sewing basket. I don't recollect putting it there, but I must have and forgot about it. Oh, Sheriff, I'm so sorry. I never meant to accuse a boy without being sure.
Well, folks, how do you like that? Now what have you got to say?
How do we know it ain't a trick? How do we know the kid didn't sneak back there with the cash just because he knew this time he was caught and was going to be run out of town?
Why not let him answer that himself?
Huh?
He just rode up. He's coming in here.
Hey, what's that box he's carrying?
Sheriff, you take this. I'm turning it over to you.
What you got here?
What is it?
Why don't you look inside?
Yeah, stand back, folks. Don't keep crowding me. Well, I'll be...
That box is full of cash.
By golly, there must be thousands there.
Where'd it come from?
The kid find it?
Whoa up, folks. Whoa. Let the kid tell it for himself. All right, Billy. Now, where'd this box come from, and who's it belong to?
I don't know who it belongs to, Sheriff. Honest, I don't. It's cash Blackie must have stole. It was found buried near the cabin, so I brought it here to you.
You brought it to me when you might have made off with it?
But it was stole. It don't belong to me. Gee, I don't want it if it's been stolen.
Now then, you there. You were talking the loudest against him. What do you say now?
Well, maybe I could have been mistaken.
Maybe?
Well, I was then. Is that what you want me to say?
Yes, to think of anybody choosing to give up all that cash.
And we called the boy a thief. I was the worst of all, I reckon. If it hadn't have been for me, all this trouble wouldn't have started. Young man, I'm right sorry.
That's all right.
Now perhaps you people won't be so ready to judge before you know the facts. Perhaps you'll be ready to use charity instead of criticism. Billy has fought against odds to make a place for himself here, and yet, instead of helping him, every one of you, with the exception of the sheriff, has treated him like a convicted thief.
And me for one. I'll state in front of all of you here, doggone ashamed of myself. Kid, as far as I'm concerned, you're all right.
You doggone fools. It took the masked man to show you what I knowed all the time.
Hello, Silver! Away!
just heard is a copyrighted feature of the Lone Ranger Incorporated.
This has been a presentation of OTRWesterns.com, and we hope you enjoyed. Please take some time to like and rate this episode within your favorite podcast application. Follow us on Facebook by going to OTRWesterns.com/Facebook, and subscribe to our YouTube channel by going to OTRWesterns.com/YouTube. Become one of our ranch hands and unlock some exclusive content. We want to thank the following ranch hand, Steve, who joined us recently. You too can join by going to OTRWesterns.com/donate. Send us an email, podcast@OTRWesterns.com, and you can call and leave us a voicemail, 707-986-8739. This episode is copyright under the attribution, non-commercial, share-alike copyright. For more information, go to OTRWesterns.com/copyright. Have a great day, and thanks for listening.